Good day and welcome to today's Dr. and Your House podcast. Today, I am going to be talking about a condition that prevents a child from being able to raise their hands or their upper extremities. This is a simple case, but a case that, though simple, requires a lot of clinical skills. Not every pediatrician is able to make a diagnosis, or sometimes when they make a diagnosis, they are unable to fix this condition. I'm talking about pulled elbow, or what we call nursemaid elbow. It's a condition where suddenly a child is unable to raise their hands or their upper extremities. They've been injured in a sense that they cannot be able to raise their upper extremities. And this happens suddenly. Child is playing by himself or playing with their parents, and suddenly they cannot lift their left arms or their right hand. They can't lift it above their head or can move it. Their elbow has been pulled. Of course, they have pain. You can see that the child is in pain, and suddenly he's unable to move their elbow or their arms or upper extremities, whatever you call it. They are unable to use it. And this is a child who seconds ago they were fine. Nothing's happening to them. They're playing, kicking balls, punching, and suddenly, boom, they cannot move their elbow. They can't raise it. They can't use it. They have pain, obviously. And when this happens, it's usually what we call pulled elbow or nursemaid elbow. And frequently happens to toddlers because they're very vibrant and very tough. And sometimes they throw tantrums and parents want to pull them up from the ground where they lay, trying to resist. And when that happens, the parents or the nurse or maid or whoever is attending to the child pulls the child's elbow. So it's called pulled elbow or nursemaid elbow. And what happens is the radius, one of the bones in the elbow area, is called a radius. The head of that radius, that bone, slipped out of the ligament that is holding it like a string. The head of the radius, head part of it, slips out of the ligament that is holding it tight. That is what prevents the child from being able to move that elbow again, raise it up, or do anything with that elbow. That elbow is no good anymore. That elbow has been arrested, so to say, because any movement causes pain. This is called nursemaid elbow, like I said, or pulled elbow. And this was inspired by a child I saw. And according to Dad, the dad was trying to help him dress, put his shirt on, and suddenly the child is unable to move his left elbow. And this has happened to the child before. When the dad noticed that the child was unable to move his upper extremity, the dad brought the child to the clinic and, of course, was looking for me because he knew that this has happened before about a year ago and I had fixed it. So he was frantically looking for Dr. Enyoha. And, of course, when I saw the child was playing, but playing with the right arm and right hand. His right upper extremities was good, but his left, he wouldn't use it. He wouldn't touch anything with it or barely touch anything with it. He could see that he's in pain or discomfort and wouldn't like to move or use his left upper extremity at all. So what I did was I recognized the condition and I was able to fix it right there and then. What I did was of course, I held the child's affected elbow, the left elbow with my left hand to stabilize the elbow, and I flexed the elbow and I supinated the elbow at the same time. That means externally rotated the elbow at the same time. And I heard the click, which told me that the radial head, which had slipped down the ligament that held it, is now back. In other words, I returned the radial head to its original position, and that is where the click came from. That means the radial head has returned back to its original position. It's no more slipped. I returned it to its original position with that maneuver. After that, you see that the child began to use the left upper extremities, first hesitantly, and then when he noticed that he is free of pain and discomfort, he began to use it more and more. And what I did was I made a balloon out of a glove and played a little bit with the child, and he was He was very playful and punching the balloon with both hands. So that told me that this was fixed perfectly good. So I've done this before and many times, and that's what the father was looking for me. This condition can be recurrent. It usually occurs when a child is pulled, when a child's elbow is pulled by a friendly caregiver, or a caregiver who's upset who just pulled the child because he's upset the child is throwing tantrum and he forcefully pulls him from the ground. That could cause this condition. This maneuver, I don't think parents should try to do it. I don't think any parent should try to do it at home because it takes clinical skills, it takes confidence to know what you're doing before you do it. What I want to share with parents today is to be aware of this condition that when your child suddenly cannot move their elbow, cannot raise their elbow, or cannot use it, or they're in pain, it means that they have suffered this condition which is called nursemaid elbow or pulled elbow. And you should take the child to a pediatrician who knows about this condition. Hopefully, he would be able to fix it there and then, and your child should be fine thereafter. X-ray is not needed for this condition, unless, of course, a physician is not very sure of the cause of this condition, or there is a fall with it. The child fell on his elbow. Of course, the child fell on his elbow and cannot move the elbow, or the elbow is swollen. That child should get an X-ray. In this scenario, usually children don't fall and the elbow is not swollen and they don't even have tenderness when you touch the elbow. It doesn't hurt. It's just discomfort when the child moves the elbow. So X-ray is not needed unless there is other circumstances that warrants an X-ray. I hope I shared a lot of things about this condition, which is, like I said, called nursemaid elbow or pulled elbow. Please share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Anselm Anyoha.